Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be reviewing new shades that Etude came out for their fixing tint. This is a part of their holiday edition. There's a total of 4 new shades, and unfortunately these are limited edition, so it might be a little bit difficult to get a reach of. However, I am going to be comparing these with other lip shades to give you an idea of similar shades. Also in addition, Etude, Peripera, and Roman came out with new shades or new products on the same day, so I'm trying to get these out as soon as possible. I do have Roman's renewed Juicy Lasting Tint to review, so definitely stay tuned for that. I believe they have a new formula, new packaging, new shades, but they also have previous shades like Bare Grape, so I'm going to be comparing them. And then Peripera also came out with new shades for their Water Bear tint. Look at this packaging. But anyway, today we have a lot to go through, so let's go ahead and get started. This is Besty Pink, and it's described as being a nude pink color. This is also a cool summer nude shade, similar to Cool Pink on top and Dusty Beige. To be honest with you, it looks very much like Cool Pink on top. You sort of have this pink purple color, which has been trending recently. Regardless, it's a very beautiful and flattering shade. For the gradient side, there's a slight layer of it, which you can see, but it's probably going to deepen and darken once we add more layers. The formula does feel pretty much the same. It has this watery type of formula, and then it dries matte. Very moisturizing, it's not sticky, it's not waxy, very easy to blend, very easy to blur. The scent is also the same as well, so it has this creme-like scent. Something about this packaging that I find is that because the cap is transparent, it is a little bit difficult to keep it clean, I guess, because I'm already spilling the product, but I'm gonna have to clean that later. Very beautiful shade. Let's go with the full look and then do some comparison swatches. It's not too much different from the gradient slip because it is a light shade. Overall, it does look more purple, like a light purple with soft pink undertones. As you know, for the formula, it's mask proof, it has a really good stain, and it's pretty long lasting as well. So we have Besty Beige at the bottom, and on top of that is Cool Pink on top. Both of them do look quite similar in muteness and shade. You can barely tell them apart. So you can see it did transfer a little bit, but on the lips there's a very pigmented stain. Next up, another light shade. This is Hug Beige, and it's described as being a peach beige color. This is a warm spring autumn shade as well, and it is a light shade. A little bit similar to the promotional pictures, but it doesn't have as much beige undertone to it. It does look a little bit more pink up close. I'd say it looks more like a pink beige color. There's not much peachy undertones to it. Overall, it's not as warm as I thought it would look compared to the promotional pictures. It's a lot more cool. If I didn't read the description, it does look a little bit more like a cool tone shade. As I mentioned earlier, these type of light shades have been popular as a base and full look. Sometimes I find that in other formulas, this kind of color looks a little bit too light or pale for my natural beige skin tone. I find the lighter shades for the fixing tint formula works better for my skin tone because it does oxidize a little bit, but it still retains a little bit of that light color. So this is the full look. It did get a little bit more mute, a little more pigmented as well. Overall, it looks more like a pink beige color with more pink in it and subtle beige undertones. Compared to the previous shade, it does look a little bit more light. If you find Cool Pink on top too cool tone for you, this is slightly a little bit more warm than that. Alright, so here's the comparison swatch. I have Hug Beige at the bottom, Cool Pink on top, Peach Honeybee, and then on this side is Peripera's Water Bear in Announce Beige. Overall, you can kind of see the muteness the Hug Beige has, which is really similar to Peach Honeybee or Announce Beige. For Cool Pink on top, it's a lot more purple, a lot more mute as well, can go a few shades darker, and it's a lot more cool tone. When you compare with the cool tone shade, you can see Hug Beige does look a little bit more warm. For Peach Honeybee and Announce Beige, they do oxidize quite a bit to be darker. They slightly do look a little bit more warm than Hug Beige. Some more swatches right here. I have Bare Grape, which has a very similar shade as Hug Beige, but I think Bare Grape can go a few shades darker. Bare Grape is also labeled as a cool tone shade, but it does work for warm tone shades. On this side is Hip Rose, and I think it looks a lot more similar to Hug Beige with the purple, with a slight purple undertone. One last comparison for Hug Beige, I have Melange Rose at the bottom and Hug Beige on top. You can see Hug Beige does seem to have more purple in it. Lunch Rose is a little bit more warm and it does have more of a salmon orange color. Alright, so next up, this is Real Pink. It's described as being a cool summer pink shade. A very beautiful and flowering shade. It does look quite similar to the promotional picture. Sort of this mauve pink color, which kind of reminds me of Custard Mauve from Roman. It does seem to have a slight brightening effect to give a healthy glow. So now for the full, you can see a mauve or rosy pink color. Very beautiful and flattering. Although it is semi-bright, it's also semi-mute, so it's not going to be too bright. Here's a comparison swatch. Real Pink is at the bottom and on top of that is Custard Mauve. Overall, they do look really similar to each other in newness and shade, just a difference in their finish. At the bottom here, I have Salmon Brick. It does have more brown in it. It's less rosy. Alright, last but not least, this is Bubble Orange. It's described as being a warm spring autumn coral shade. A little bit similar to the previous one in terms of muteness. However, this does look quite similar to the promotional pictures. It does look more like a pink orange shade. It does look orange under some certain lightings, but up close you won't be able to see it. So I think it is quite subtle. Fully you can see a darker and mute rosy pink color. I'm guessing the base color is orange. For the full, you can barely see any orange undertones. It's very subtle. It looks more like a warm rosy pink color. Then there's a hand comparison with Bubble Orange at the bottom and then Almond Rose on top. Overall, you can see they're really similar to each other in newness and shade. Alright, so for my intro and outro, I went in with Hug Beige and then I applied Bare Grape on top as a glossy finish. I also put Hug Beige on my cheeks as well as a blush. So for my final conclusion, today my pick would be Hug Beige and Bubble Orange. I do like Hug Beige because it's a light shade, but it's not too light and it complements my natural beige skin tone really well. Really good to use as a base, but also as a full look. It's not as warm tone and it does look a little bit more similar to being a Bare Grape. A little bit difficult to find in the market as a matte finish. I also like Bubble Orange because it's a matte finish of Almond Rose. Otherwise, overall, the formula is pretty much the same. Really good pigmentation, really good stain. It's mask proof, has a really long lasting stain. That's all for today's video, but stay tuned later because I'm going to be reviewing Roman's new formula for their juicy lasting tints.